Oh, that's sweet.
And we're live streaming from Orange County, California. Here in the city of Fullerton is 59 degrees. Feels like 59 degrees. No shit.
No, not to us. It feels like 30 degrees.
Yeah, this is colder than it usually is, right, Greg?
Yeah. My legs are so cold. I'm in shorts and sandals and I'm freezing. Well, I'm not really freezing, but
you white people, you don't go anywhere without shorts and sandals.
What's the point?
You go to the snow, shorts and sandals.
It's because we feel heat. The heat don't bounce off of us.
Oh man. Well, welcome back everyone. I'm here with my buddy Greg. This is episode number 22. And just to recap a little bit about what we talked about last week, we talked a little bit about breaking old habits and breaking out of the mold and breaking the cycle that we've been, both self-consciously and unconsciously on. And, I feel like these past 2 weeks for me have been a little tough again. Just things have been piling up. You got work, you got school, you have your personal life, everything. But so today, being that it's Sunday, today in fact, for this week, I have a little different outlook on life, and I hope to share that with you guys today. But before we get into that, how have you been, Greg? We missed a day last week of doing this, so.
I've been alright. I haven't done anything super special this last week. I didn't really do anything super special.
So what do you say?
I mean, I did like Halloween stuff with my son, but like, I don't know, since he's not with me this Halloween, I haven't really, and I don't really do anything for Halloween normally. I don't have many friends, so there's no like parties to go to. I don't even feel like it's Halloween. Like, I haven't even really gone out places. Like, when I'm working, I'm in my car and I'm driving people from here to there. When I pick up my son, it's from school. They don't decorate the outside of the school.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to restaurants. I don't go anywhere that's decorated. Like, nothing feels like Halloween.
Would you say that in the past 2 weeks, you've reverted back to your old self in any way?
A little, yes, because I told you I was working on a website for one of my hobbies that I do. And
well, why don't you before you get into that, why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing?
I don't want to put it out, like the website yet.
Well, you don't have to give the website. Just what have you been doing? One of your hobbies?
Well, one of the things that I was using my web development for was to create a website that helped others understand how to play one of the games that I play. And within it, there's different ways to play it, and there's better ways than others. So it's essentially, it's like when we were growing up and you would buy that new PlayStation game, and then you would buy the guide with it, the step-by-step, how to actually beat that boss, what level you need to be to even attempt to fight that boss.
Yeah, what were those things called?
It was the
they came in magazines, right?
Yeah, and you can buy with it, or you didn't have to get it. And some games you really wanted to get it because it was such a long game. There's so much information. So that's kind of essentially what I'm doing. And with that, it also ties back to when I play the game. I stream the game to try to bring in viewers, just like the same concept with this. We have the live right now, and you can have people watching. So it kind of brings those two things together. It helps people, but then brings those people to watch the live content that's going on. So it's straight connected to the website, and then there's more engagement because there's a secondary reason for them to come. There's information that they need.
Do you also have like a forum there?
I do not.
I think that'd be a good idea.
I've looked at it, but I haven't set that up because that's going to take a lot more information, and if a lot more people start talking, it's going to be more costly. So if there's no income to put into the website, I can't just have a free forum.
Yeah.
I would need space.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna take time to build any of that. I've learned that with this damn studio. I still haven't been able to get the damn couches out.
Yeah. So one of the things that I did fall back on is I almost have it like completed to where I can send it to people. But for some reason, sorry, I just looked at your shoes and you have rice all over your shoes and your other shoes because he was cooking steak and rice right before this, and he broke the spatula and rice fell everywhere. So his shoes just covered in rice. But we'll go back.
Dude, I've been walking with these shoes for like half an hour.
So what happened was I'm right at the end. There's 3 more things I have to add to it. I have all the information to do it, but this last week I just didn't complete it. I had no reason not to. Like I could literally stop right now and complete it within like probably 20-30 minutes. I don't know why I didn't.
I mean, maybe you do know why.
Well, there was one reason. A lot of the information did kind of change. So I didn't want to put out old information that wasn't useful, especially when you're first starting something out. Because if the first introduction to it is not helpful, then you're not coming back. So it's one of the reasons I stopped, but I should have still completed what I had. Even if I wasn't going to release it, just to make sure everything was good, which I didn't do. Well,
sounds like procrastination. And about procrastination, all through my early life, I still am the biggest procrastinator, and it's probably one of the habits that I've been trying to change most. In fact, I have a project due on Halloween Day, so the 31st, which is 3 days away, right? And I haven't even started it, and it's just but this time it's different because I've noticed it. Before, I would notice it like the night before, and then I would try to cram everything in, right? Be like, oh crap, I have a project due tomorrow. But this time, although I still procrastinated, I feel like I'm still within a good amount of time where like I just need to like bang it out in the next 3 days, and I should be fine. I should be able to complete it, right? But it's one of these the habits that I built over the years that has not allowed me to move forward. It hasn't allowed me to be the better version of myself. Because, and someone told me the other day, procrastination is the thief of time. And just to give you like the context behind that is, well, you're usually procrastinating, wasting time doing something that you should have been doing, something that has nothing to do with what you should be doing. And then when the time comes, you're so stressed that you're not even able to complete the task that you're supposed to do. And so all that time between the time that you notice that you're procrastinating and then the time that whatever the due time is, or the deadline is, that time you're stressed, right? And so that time is taken away from you. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. It's these damn pesky habits, man. I don't know how to. I still haven't figured out how to override them, because there's been times where I know I should be doing something, and then I still consciously choose to put it off. For whatever reason, kind of like how you just said it right now about this project you've had a whole week and it would have taken you 30 minutes and you didn't get to it. I understand you because I've been doing the same thing for my whole life, right? But now I'm trying to figure out how how can I stop listening to that voice telling me, "Oh, just do it another day, tomorrow," you know? Because if you really think about it, tomorrow is not here. Tomorrow will never be here, right?
Yeah.
Because it's always tomorrow. It's today. And so, in fact, you know,
One of the things is because let's see if I can put this into like an analogy. Like if you were to go to Disneyland, right, and you go wait in a line, and they say about 45-minute wait time, and you sit there and you wait your time, you get to the front of the line, you get to go on.
mm-hmm.
Well, what if they had told you like you have 45 minutes, and then you get to go on, no matter what, like you're on in 45 minutes. So now you know you have this amount of time to do whatever you want, and then you get to go on. Where now when you're working, you're like, I need to complete this thing. You don't have a guaranteed time it takes to complete this thing. So you feel like whatever you want to do on the other side of that, you don't know if you're going to be able to get to it. So you rather do what's on the other side, so you skip the work that needs to be done to get to the other side.
Yeah, so that would be like choosing pleasure, instantaneous pleasure over the struggle, the initial struggle. Because okay, so one thing that so let's backtrack a little bit. So now that we covered that about procrastinating and the issues that we've been having these past 2 weeks, this month, and I haven't talked about it on the podcast, but because I do enjoy other people's podcasts, like Jerry, we've been fans of Joe Rogan for a long time. I have been participating in Sober October, which and I didn't make it a big deal. It's just a thing that I decided to do, and then I think Robert, he's been doing it, and then Gilbert was guilt tripped into it because nobody who he hangs out with, like like us, like we're not drinking, we're not doing anything, so he's also taking the break as well, and so just to bring it into perspective, this sober October for me would be like a reboot of it's kind of like taking a break. It's like Sundays. If you have a 9 to 5 and you have the weekend, and usually Friday and Saturday you're out doing stuff, drinking, whatever. Sunday is usually the day you take off from doing any of that, and it's you reboot your body, your mind, and you prepare yourself for the next week, right? And yeah, I mean, I guess that's what we've been doing this whole month, and I felt a lot better, man. I felt a lot better in every sense. Um, Less anxious, less stressed. Although there are plenty of things to be stressed about. And then um, what else? Oh, just 2 days ago, I went running with my wife. We went to go do the 1,000 steps here in Fullerton. And
There's one here.
yeah, so it's located at Hillcrest Park, which is on Harbor, North Harbor, in the city of Fullerton. And I think that it's not just a park. I believe that there may be like a school around it. At least that's what it seemed like. But we just decided. We got up, we went out for like a walk, and then we saw the steps, and then next thing you know, we're doing 3 rounds. I got a sweat on, and in fact, like that morning, something fell through with work here at one of the properties that I manage, and I was stressed. I was just pissed that things didn't work out the way they were supposed to, and I used that opportunity to go and relieve that stress by exercising. And so another thing that I guess you could say I've been, you know, reverting back to would be not exercising enough. Um, it just for whatever reason, like I have not been able to, um, I guess for lack of a better word, I haven't been able to multitask. Like I haven't been able to hit the gym, try to build the business, stay productive with the podcast, do my reading, all of it together. It's just too much workload for my mind. I guess I really don't know what the issue is. Um, Maybe I just never built the habits of doing it, and so now that I've been, now that I'm 29, and you're getting those real life problems where then you have your job is very stressful. I haven't been able to execute everything together. It's been a problem for me. So this sober October has been helping with that. Um, Exercising tomorrow. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna start exercising again, even though my mind tells me, dude, you like stay in bed, stay in bed. You're gonna get up to go to work, reserve your energy for work. Um, but I'm like right now. I'm already consciously choosing that tomorrow I'm gonna get up and go work out because I feel like I need to, you know. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Do you think it's time for you to troubleshoot yourself and kind of reboot whatever whatever your thought process has been for the past 2 weeks? Like, do you think it's time for you to switch that computer off and turn it back on?
I mean, it's easy to say yes, but no, because what is what is it gonna do? Like, let's put it this way. I'm assuming you're saying that you're gonna wake up at like 5 in the morning to go work out.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. So, just for context, it's 11:30 right now. So what you're saying is you're gonna get up. Let's say you get about 4 hours sleep, right? So you can do that, and then the next day, realistically, you're probably gonna do something pretty similar. So what you're doing in the long term is you're wearing yourself out. You're making yourself do something that sure you might want to do, but your body doesn't want you to do. So like passively, you're wearing yourself out, and that's why those things stop. And it's just gonna consistently happen. So like back when I went to the gym for those 2 years, I went like 2 times a day, on a mountain bike, do all that. That's because I really wanted to do those things. I was having fun doing those things. And then it got to a certain point where it wasn't really fun. Sure, there were benefits of doing it, but there was no more enjoyment in it. So that's when I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So by pushing yourself to do these things in times where it doesn't make too much sense, it's just gonna push you back again.
Yeah, but
Even if you don't choose to, it's your body doing it. Like,
yeah, but I feel like the body likes to be comfortable. I think that people are lazy by nature, and I feel like we have this late. I think that now laziness is a commodity. It's something that everybody can do. You don't have to get up to go grocery shopping anymore. You don't have to go to the movies anymore. you don't have to go out and socialize anymore.
It's like this, like how I'm saying that your body does it almost involuntary. Have you heard of? I think they call it something along the lines of like mom syndrome, where like if say this has happened a few times, like a car rolled over and their kid was in it, like this happened a few times. There's no way this mom should be able to pick up this car.
Right.
Like usually it takes like 4 people to pick up a car.
Mm-hmm.
But in the dire need and the dire strength, somehow this little 5 foot, 100 pound lady is able to pick up a car. Like at times, it's just not really a feasible thing to do. You have no need to do that. You have no need. This 100 pound lady has no need to pick a car up. So when she goes up to one, she'll be like, I'm trying. But when there is you have to do this, there's no other option. Things get done. So passively, a lot of things are just.
Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say?
Controlling your like mental control over your body.
Wouldn't you say that exercising should be one of those things that you should be doing, no matter what?
I mean, in a sense, because like, how far back has exercise been a thing? It's actually something that I actually want to look into.
Okay, so
because, like,
I can
point,
probably answer that.
Wasn't life just normally exercise, and now we've just kind of gotten rid of all of those things that need to exercise? Like hunting to survive was exercise. We don't need to hunt to survive, so it's not like that's why exercise became a thing. Like
yeah, so you're completely right. You're absolutely right about that. It used to be something that we had to do.
You didn't see a hunter out there running when he wasn't hunting. Like he wasn't out there practicing his sprint. Like sure, he may be practicing like throwing at a target or like things like that, but
right.
Like, he wasn't out there like doing sprints every morning at 5 a.m.
Right.
to increase his speed.
Like, right.
That just naturally happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not everyone.
That
sure, there were people.
The hunter and gatherers. That was their lifestyle, and I know what you're saying. The thing is that now, what the research that we've done, and I'm not even including myself because I've never done this type of research. And also, we're not doctors, so don't take our advice. I feel like we know what the benefits are to exercising, and we also understand what the,
Yeah, but exercise is many different things. It's like you don't have to go to a gym and do weights and do this and do a stretch day on this day. Like you can go out and mountain bike one day. The next day you can go lift weights. And the next day you can go for a run. The next day you can just go swimming. Like it's just when you hear exercise, you think go to the gym, do some type of run, do some weights. Like
it could be whatever.
That's mainly when someone says do exercise. That's what they mean for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. So right now you just mentioned about how people back in the Stone Age used to go and I mean for the longest time before the Industrial Revolution, we would have to go out there and hunt.
I probably even say during that I don't think you'd find people doing like exercise. Like most of those jobs are the same thing. It's pick up.
I think bodybuilding started somewhere in the.
Well, yeah, you got those
like 1800s.
You had those big guys, but like even if you looked at them,
like the strongmen,
they didn't look like they were like working out. Like
right.
Some of that was probably fake. Like they're like, this is 500 pounds, but it was really maybe
like the circus, whatever the circus. Yeah, the circus performers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, okay. I guess it depends, right? Like what do you want from your body? Do you we're 30 years old, when we're 50, do you want your body breaking down? For me, that's a big no. I don't want my body to break down when I'm 50. Although it's inevitable and long term, I want it to last as long as possible. And when you exercise, you're breaking down your muscle fibers. You're making your your calcium in your. I know some of it deteriorates in your joints, but you build like denser bones. When you exercise, when you lift weights. So for me, it's like a big no brainer to just exercise if I expect to live a long time. That's kind of like the way I see it right now. And however, that's not how I always saw it, and that's what I'm saying, the that it's been really hard for me to continue this habit that I picked up for a year. I was exercising for like a whole year, but I never took into account the past 28 years of my life where I barely exercised. I was looking at some pictures of when I was a kid, and when I lived in Mexico, I was I was skinny. We barely had any food. I was running around everywhere. I had to walk everywhere. Right, there was no cars where I live, so I was like really skinny. And then when I moved here, like I took the bus to school. My mom was able to feed us like every day, and so I noticed that I gained some weight. And then I started playing soccer in like middle school, and so I thinned out a little bit again. And then in early high school, I again became a little chubby. And then when I was like 17, towards the end of high school, I don't know if you remember, but dude, growing up in high school, I was like 4'11" all through high school until junior year. Do you remember that? You don't remember that?
No, you're all small.
How tall are you now? 6 foot?
It depends.
Depends if you're wearing chanclas or not.
No, because sometimes I'll even go to the same like doctor. You know how they always measure your height.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 5'11", sometimes I'm 6 foot. And it's just like, this doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
So it's just all up to if they push the thing down on that or leave it a little loose.
From your hair? Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't thin back out until I was like 17-ish. And then through most of my early 20s, I was pretty thin. And then I got really, really chubby. And then I lost it all. And then I got built. Like I actually put on some real good muscle mass. I don't know if you remember me back then. I was pretty jacked. And I wasn't like.
Because I trained you.
Shut up, dude. You went to the gym for like 1 year.
2 years only?
No,
I
man.
went so much.
Yeah, but you never even got to the weight that I got to, man.
What do you mean? We were the same thing.
I was at 2.
I was. We were doing the same stuff.
No, not the weight.
Oh, after that maybe.
Dude, I gotta, and maybe I'll post some pictures on Instagram. And maybe we can put some links up. But I was 210 pounds. Like, I was pretty good. And it was all good muscle mass. So now my goal is to get back up to that. I wouldn't say 210 pounds. I would say like a good 195. Just put on some muscle. Get that testosterone back up. That's also one of the things, man. It's like, so to my earlier question is, we are, as men, we're built from these hormones, or these hormones help us rebuild ourselves, right? Rebuild muscle and have a healthy mind, just a healthier life. And obviously it affects your sex drive, but testosterone is like one of the building blocks for males. Wouldn't you say that exercising just so you can have a higher testosterone that would overall make you feel better, wouldn't you think that that's a no-brainer?
Sure, if that's how it worked necessarily.
It does work like that.
Like, I didn't feel any different the 2 years that I did it.
If you didn't feel any different,
Like, I've never actually felt like I didn't feel better. Like, sure, maybe I was like, actually, I feel better. No, if anything, I actually probably felt worse for the fact of like being sore, having to walk upstairs after pushing some squats the day before, like, or having to pick something up after working on back or something like that. Like, I never felt like, oh man, like I'm feeling good. Like I never felt like a different feeling.
I feel like maybe you didn't do it for long enough. One, and the second point would be, I don't think you ever ate veggies.
What do you mean? I eat the same meal almost all the time.
You
and I
ate
eat
green
fruit in
beans.
between. Green beans is huge.
Dude, you need to eat some collard greens. You need to eat some kale. You gotta
Nah,
eat
I would
some
actually eat
broccoli.
kale. I would have some lettuce sometimes.
Lettuce is, come on, dude.
I eat
Lettuce is a joke of a
and-
veggie.
I eat peppers like almost every meal.
No, man, what you needed was fiber to make you feel good.
I took fiber one, man.
Come on, dude. You know,
Green beans has a ton of fiber.
no, man. So, in fact, dude, if you could
And a lot
change.
of the fiber came from my fruit.
I'm not even going to dispute this with you because neither of us are nutritionists, but I know for a fact that you don't get nearly as much fiber from fruit as you actually need. So we're just gonna move past the subject right now, dude.
So I supplemented with water.
No, man. Yeah. But anyway, like, yeah. So sober October. I'm just trying to troubleshoot my mindset.
So let me ask you then, because you said that you felt better, you felt less stress and less anxiety. So if that's the case, why go back to not being sober?
Because it's easy. Oh wait, sorry. I totally missed the question you asked.
So
Because I was answering a question I thought you had asked me.
why not just say like, oh, I don't need these things?
You're saying why not just be sober?
Yeah.
I might as well be. I might as well be. Okay, so another thing that I've changed in the past month. Did we talk about me going to therapy or no?
Nah.
We kind of touched up on it a little bit.
Yeah.
So my therapist is a 92-year-old guy, and one of the things that he was telling me is that substances, when it all comes down to when it all comes down to, is basically substances alter your mind, and so you're and the more you use them, your mind starts changing in a sense. It could be like if alcohol. I mean, I didn't really drink too much, to be honest. Like it wasn't a problem, but I just never felt that anything came out of it. Like, and nothing good ever comes from drinking alcohol. Like, yeah, you maybe soothe the social anxiety you may have, and it makes it easier for you to socialize with people, and it's a good way to, just socialize, I guess, and or whatever. Maybe after a long day, you drink a cold one. Like, yeah, it works for some people, but I never felt that I never felt like I had any benefit from it, you know. And then as for the other stuff, like, yeah, I guess I was essentially what my mind was doing was numbing the stress, numbing the emotions that I had throughout the day, numbing the anxieties, calming stuff down, but never addressing them. And so now, what I figured out this month, now that I've been sober the whole month from everything, I feel like I have more mental clarity, but I am also super hyper aware. So I'll give you an example. Like, what do I mean by hyper aware? So, um, I look at things now, and immediately I break it down all the way through. Like, if I dude, there's been times where I look at a tree, and I'm baffled by it. I'm like, wow, nature was able to create this. Or I look at a person, and then it's just, I find it very interesting how people are and how people have become in the short amount of time that I've been here in this on this earth for 29 years. I feel like a lot of people have changed in a lot of ways, a lot good ways, a lot bad ways. I don't look at food the same anymore. I'm too hyper aware of it. I don't know. You're gonna have to like shoot me to take me to McDonald's. Like, I can't even look at that anymore. Like, I don't know. I feel like ever since I took that red pill of you know of that the man, like, how can I explain it? Like, when you know something, there's no way you can go back to not knowing it, right? So when I found out what McDonald's was made of, like what ingredients they made, or what ingredients they food, or what alcohol is actually doing to your body, or what not sleeping is doing to your head, your mind. When I found out all of those things, I just go back to thinking like my old self, like, oh, it's just beer, oh, it's just McDonald's, I'm just not gonna sleep tonight. Like, my mind is not designed like that. I feel like I have a perfectionist mind, but I have a body full of bad habits. So now that I've seen what I should be doing, like, I guess that's where the conflict is between. It's like a disconnect between my mind and my body. Like, my body's like, yeah, fast food, oh, sleep in, uh, you know, substances. It won't you'll relieve the anxieties. But my mind's like, no, you should not be doing that. You should look at what you're eating. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Just a bunch of different things. And so I guess I've been caught in that limbo for quite some time now. But this month I've been seeing things more clearly. And hopefully I'm taking the right steps to battle that. I mean, I don't know, man. And I say it, and I know you're smirking because the wedding's coming in like 2 weeks. My wife and I are I guess we're like, I don't know, we're but it's not like we're getting married again. No,
married to the church.
Yeah,
That's all you gotta say.
Yeah, I guess through the church, but there's another word.
Reaffirming. It's something.
Yeah, it's
reaffirmment.
It's like you
reaffirming.
Reaffirming our vows. Is that what it is?
I think so.
I don't know. If I just blanked out because I was looking at the. Anyway, so off camera, there's like
under the camera.
There's like 20 cases of beer.
400 bottles of beer.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, so I've been joking with some friends, say sober October, but what comes after sober October is no remember November. So whoever's coming to the wedding, get
December.
good luck, right? Yeah, man. But I think that's the way life is, man. Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Something that's been on my mind lately is I'm gonna challenge myself big. I'm gonna challenge myself like I've never challenged myself before. I'm gonna do this thing, and I guess I'll break it here. I haven't told anybody about it. I'm gonna live a certain way from now on, and I'm gonna put it on here so that it helps me keep accountable to it. And I'm gonna tell you, so whenever you see me slack off, you better just tell me, all right?
I got the checklist ready.
Yeah, man. I am gonna, for as long as I can, okay? Not forever. I don't know what's gonna come in 2 years or a year from now. But for 2020, my goal is to live the lifestyle of a warrior. And I don't know if this has been taken by someone, if this term has been taken by anybody, but essentially, I'm going to be living the warrior's way. So, what that means is that the warrior, in every culture, every warrior that has ever existed, they had to do a number of things. They had to prepare for war, they had to um, prepare. So, the way they prepared for war was they prepared their mind, their body, and they were just more aware of like what serves you and what doesn't. And I feel like we are losing that in this modern life. Like, do you feel that? Do you feel like we've lost the warriors way?
Well, we were talking about that already. We've lost things in the way of, I guess, technology. Like how they said, there's no exercise before, and there's exercise now. So we lost the passive exercise, and we've had to replace it with what we know now as exercise.
Yeah, but it's beyond exercise.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's the concept that you're saying. So when
Yeah,
you're saying warrior, you're saying like you need to prepare to win and not end up dead.
yeah, but so let's take it even further. Every day is a battle, whether you look at it that way or not. You have a battle, you have an internal battle and an external battle, right? Internally, you have you have to defeat yourself, which is that negative voice that I was telling you earlier. The I'm gonna sleep in. Oh, I'm just gonna microwave my food. I'm just gonna go and have fast food. Um, oh, look, simple pleasures. I like to be comfortable. That voice does not serve you. It does nothing for you. But one, get you into trouble. Two, make you feel like shit. Right? So that's the first battle. And then after that, you have the external battle. Sometimes your life isn't going too well. You have issues with people. Your work sucks. Maybe even if you're at a job that you like, maybe you have. I mean, things always happen. That's just life. You can't get around it. So there's always an external battle, right? Um, and I feel like people nowadays aren't prepared for it, and I feel like most of the youth that's coming up is underestimating what life really is. Unfortunately, I'm just finding that out now. And I don't know how you feel about that. Like, how do you feel about the perceived life that you, or your perception of what life was when you were a kid, and the way you see it now? It's a big change, right?
I mean, there are changes, sure, but I mean, I'll put it this way: I used to not see, like, you go to like we were talking about McDonald's a second ago. You go to McDonald's and you go order your food and you go grab the food from this person who has your food. That's it. That's all it was. You grabbed it from some person. None of that person's life doesn't matter. But now, like, if you and I go to a restaurant and you don't pay attention to what the server's saying, I yell at you. Before, none of that mattered. I would do the same thing you did. So things like that, sure, you see things like that differently, but I don't necessarily see life as a whole differently.
You don't.
No. I think that's why a lot of us are different, because you may perceive things differently. That's as far as I can go with that one. Perceive things differently, because the restaurant example, you don't see it because you never had the experience of working in a restaurant. You don't care that you're gonna finish the conversation with this person when that server, because you're finishing your conversation, is now going to get screamed at by 3 other tables who've been waiting on you to finish your conversation so they can finish with you, so that person can finally get the drinks for that next table. So
but I'm okay. But
things like that, sure. When you finally have experience in things, you see different.
I understand that. What I'm talking about is the bigness of the universe. I did not. So I think that's an issue with people. They don't worry about it because it doesn't serve you any good to not know about. Okay.
It's like this, however, if the innocent people there were to have known that they were gonna get bombed the next day, would it have been better? Sure, obviously they could have done something and gotten away. But if they knew there was no option, is it better to know? It's the whole thing. Is it better to know from the moment you're born when you're gonna die, or better to just live it? There's enough out there you don't need to know.
Okay, but I'm not. See, that's a whole other thing. What I'm talking about is, one, when you were growing up, did you ever think you were going to experience the pains you've experienced?
No.
No, right? So your mind must have changed, like your thoughts must have changed. The way your viewpoints must have changed. Like, there are evil people in this world. There are good people in this world. Or like you've never contemplated on just what life really is and why does it suck so much? Have you contemplated on that? You've never have?
I mean, I've never had a worry to. Sure, I haven't experienced much evil, or I mean, I feel like I've experienced enough good, but why do I need to sit here and worry about all this evil? When someone comes up to you and says something like, "My dad was murdered when I was 5," sorry, what do you do?
You empathize? Well, you can empathize.
Sure, but I don't know. I've never my grandma died, and people were like, "Oh, my condolences." Every time I heard that, it was more or less like, "Why are you even saying that?" To me, it's a weird thing to do.
Yeah, I feel like people have.
I don't understand a lot of concepts of life.
Okay.
That other people see more similar with each other than I do.
Okay. Well, for starters, I think that the way that you react towards it is perfectly normal. I think that a lot of people react that way. What the difference is that I don't think that you've experienced enough struggle and enough bad in your life, so you don't really see the difference between the real shit out there and then and how good you have it now.
But see, that's the that concept of what do they call it when you're trying to one up someone kind of thing, where it's like, oh, I grew up without a brother. Oh, well, I grew up without a mom. Oh, well, both my parents weren't there, and I was in the foster care. Oh, at least you had foster care. I was stuck with this person who was beating me. Oh, at least you had a house over your head. I lived down the street. Like,
Oh yeah, people do say that, but
how can you tell someone that your bad is worse than theirs? Because bad feels bad, regardless.
I think there's levels.
I don't necessarily think there is.
I'm sure there are.
There are things that stay with you longer. But
okay, so let's consider this. Do you think that your bad is worse, or not worse? Do you think that your bad is the same as like a Marine that has PTSD from all the horrible stuff you've seen?
For one reason, yes, because
really?
I experienced it.
PTSD.
Because I experienced. No, I didn't experience PTSD, but because the bad that I experienced, I felt that bad.
But
so
what's that bad?
I can't be like, well, let's just make something up. Say I lost my eye because.
But you
okay? I'm giving you a hypothetical. So
okay, but don't.
Two things.
No.
Hypothetical because you don't have any factual.
But let's not go into hypothetical things.
You have to. It's the only way to have a conversation.
No. I'm saying you, from your own experiences, the life that you've lived so far, do you think that is the same? The bad is the same as a soldier coming back from war, having PTSD from seeing all his service brothers like dead on the ground. Do you think that you can compare your bad from the life that you've lived now with thousands of people who have experienced that?
Sure, they're not the same thing.
Right, so there's levels to it, right?
But you can't have someone who hasn't experienced something to say that their life is just all good. Because the bad that those people know is all the bad there is technically. Because until you experience a next level bad, there's.
Well, okay. So that's
you can, like you said, you can only empathize with someone. You can't actually like be like, oh, I feel that pain. Like, you don't feel the pain. You just understand the concept that they're telling you.
Yeah.
Like I go to this one because I'm sure enough people have felt the pain of like 9/11. But to me as a kid, I didn't even know that place existed. Sure, it was happening. I watched it on the TV. It's a bad thing, but like that day, I felt nothing. Like it was just a normal day. Go to school, have fun.
But you were also a kid.
Like that's the point. Like it was still bad, and I still experienced it. But like, it didn't do much to me.
It didn't make you even a little bit more patriotic?
No. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know where it was.
Oh, well, yeah, you were. By then you were a kid.
Like.
Okay, but let's say. I don't know, man. I feel
that can only affect the people who are experiencing it.
Well, kind of. I mean, I think they were like, after 9/11, people became more patriotic. There was a more, for a while, there was a sense of.
Sure, like it's the same thing when you watch a video when someone gets hit in the nuts. You're like, oh, you feel it yourself, but then that goes away and you walk around like nothing ever happened.
Well, people do
But
have short
granted,
memories.
did happen to you in that moment, you'd probably still be feeling it the rest of the day. That's the point. Like, if you didn't actually get the real feeling of this bad,
So
it's
that's what
not.
I'm saying. Like, don't you think that we have it all too good? And that's my point.
Sure,
That
some
we
people
have
can
it
have the
so
good,
good.
but
We have it so good that we're not grateful and we're not appreciating what we have for like our bodies, for instance. We're not even thinking about 30 years from now.
can't
Because
that.
one day we're not gonna be like this. We're not gonna have this health that we're blessed to have with right now.
But see, at the same time, do you, do you appreciate it in a passive way of having enjoyment in your life? Like you're gonna have a wedding, you have everything set up to have this grand party with all of your family, right? But say someone you know dies tomorrow. Sure, that sucks, but you're still going to have a grand party, and sure, it may affect that day, but
Well,
there's still enjoyment within that at the same time.
yeah, like that's a little skewed, but yeah.
So there's always bad and there's always good. You just have to enjoy the good when there's good, and that's
Yeah,
it.
but what my point is I'm gonna do this, why am I gonna walk on this path moving forward, this warrior's way? I feel like me personally, although I have been through some shitty situations and some fucked up shit in my life, I don't think it's enough for me. It has not been enough for me to open my eyes in a sense. Like I feel like now I'm just beginning to open my eyes and see the world in a different, with like a different lens, if you will. You see what I mean? Like I've started to see that some people are two-faced, some people are not so nice, some people you meet them, they're great, and then they come back and they bite you in the ass. Like I'm starting to see more of what things that I've never have been exposed to, and so it's changing my mind a little bit, like the way I used to see the world, which was all like pink.
Well,
You
yeah,
know, everyone lives in a pink world until something fucked up happens to
but
them.
it's the same concept of, oh, everyone does it, so it's fine, so I'm gonna do it, and then the next person behind you gets screwed over because you thought it was fine to continue to do things. But sure, if you get screwed over by things, why continue to screw over for other people? Because maybe that person behind you then doesn't get screwed over and can continue on with whatever the concept is.
Well, can you elaborate on that? Because I
You know?
don't know what you mean.
So, say I say I have a group of friends, right? And you have a group of friends, we don't know each other. And you just come and punch me right in the face. If I decide, hey, I'm gonna hit you right back, now and all my buddies are now gonna do the same thing, now there's a big fight. But if you punch me in the face and I ended it, there'd be no giant fight. You see where I'm going with that?
Maybe if you didn't punch me back,
Point.
maybe your friends would join me and just kick your ass for not doing anything.
But it's just
No, no, I'm just kidding. No, man. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes people, and it's not me preaching. I don't even want people to think I telling people what to do. I'm just, in my own experience, I feel like most of us now have lost our way, or you've never even found your way. And so, personally, because I have gone through some stuff, I'm sure it's made me a little stronger in one way and weaker in other ways. I am consciously choosing not to have all those experiences define me. And so I'm going to walk a path that I'm just right now calling it the warrior's way and see where it takes me. In fact, come January 2020, I'm gonna join a jiu-jitsu dojo for a year and just see what happens. Get out of my comfort zone. Get my ass kicked for the first 6 months, and then we'll go from there. And then I plan on taking maybe some archery. I maybe get into some sort of Krav Maga sometime in the near future. I don't know. We'll see. You know. But anyway, I think sometimes we gotta take a step back and take a look at where you're standing. And if you don't like it,
Do the number crunch.
yeah, if you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be, turn off that PC and just reboot it. Hopefully that fixes it.
And Apple do get viruses. Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. We're gonna do a little Halloween special for you guys. We'll see you then. Thanks, Greg, for joining us.